Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to talk about Yisan, the Wandering Bard. FYI, I think this was the first card that was actually, it says designed by. I'm not exactly certain the story of that. There was several different cards that were designed by people not in R&D, but I think this was the first one actually attributed to it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of these out there as far as Wizards said, hey, this was designed by this person, because a lot of cards are just developed by R&D as a group. Anyway, I like Eason simply because he does not have the dreaded line, play this ability as a sorcery. So you can do this as a reaction. And most of my creature choices, I did it with that in mind. Tell you what, first let's go through the non-creature stuff. Because we do have a lot of creatures, ideally we would like to cheat them all into play with Yisan, but let's face it, that's not going to happen all the time. We're going to actually cast them. Ooh, forgot about that click, sorry. Lifecrafter's Bestiary, that's our card draw. Along with, Harmonize. That's it. 1,000-Year Elixir is my I didn't want to use Concordant Crossroads because it seems like every time I use Concordant Crossroads, my opponent outclasses me on how good it is for them. So this just applies to you, and it untaps your dude. You get multiple activations a turn in late game, so I really like it. That's another recurring theme through the creatures is untapping my bard. Whisper Seal Cloak protects the bard. Now, it also does kind of shoot him in the foot as far as you can't untap him with your untap stuff because he's got Shroud. But, these are the costs you play if you want to, have a bard as your general and keep him alive. Overrun, 5 mana win the game most of the time. We all know that. Double meat, double cheese. Oh, I'm sorry. Hell, this is more card draw. And then Nature's Chosen, I'm going to save you from reading all that text because it is an Alliance's version of Instill Energy. You get to actually untap a creature. So you've got, in theory, a whole lot of activations on Yisan. If you've got enough mana. Late game, it's not an issue. That's it for non-creatures. Now we're going to go to the creatures, starting with converted mana cost 1. I've kind of sorted these out into the converted mana cost. Now, 1 looks just about exactly like you would imagine. We have the Mana Elves. And then Taunting Elf. Because Taunting Elf, a lot of time, is just a game-winning card. Now, granted, we don't have haste enablers, as I said before, but if he sits out there, more times than not, he equals one person is gone. I like to use him in blue and Rider Replication so a Taunting Elf can swing at everybody. Oh, and Quirion Ranger untaps a creature. Now let's go up to 2. Mir Superior was my very first choice because nobody really expects the 5/6 on the second time you activate him. And, hey, it doesn't really matter. If you draw him, that's fine, whatever. He's you've got some mana elves and stuff to play with. Seeker of Skybreak's going to untap your creature. Phyrexian Revoker is going to lock down that annoying general. The Preserver. Here again, this is one of those cards that a lot of people don't see coming, especially when you can tutor it into play at instant speed for things, a lot of black decks out there is rotating around making you sack stuff. And in response, you just tutor this guy into play. Deadly Recluse is your Doom Blade for flyers when they attack you. You just activate your Yisan and boom, block with it. As well as kind of Skylasher. Skylasher, not so really much a Doom Blade as it is just a wall. God forbid they're playing Sphinxes. And then, of course, Skin Shifter, who is, whatever you want him to be. Now, 3 mana was my tight spot. I think I've got more 3-drops than anything else. Mainly because with your General dying, the massive amount of board wipes we have, 3 a lot of times tends to be the last activation before that guy dies. Before they realize, hey, this is a value deck. So, Devotion is a real thing. I love it. And this guy is a good solid 3-drop from your library. It's essentially a lot like Yisan is. I mean, it's a lot like drawing a card, because every time you activate Yisan, you're +1 card. You're +1 card to the board. So, Wood Elves, of course, going to get you that mana, as well as the Elder. Now, Prowling Sir Poppard is a late edition, but it's pretty solid. I like it. Champion of Lambholt. I like it. It says enter the battlefield and not cast. So he's just going to continue to get bigger. Whether you're casting or activating, it doesn't matter. Now, the Soul Gorger. I love me some Soul Gorger because, he's a 3 mana 8/8, and your cumulative upkeep sacking a dude. Yeah. Oran Viper. Some more card draw. Dozin. I love Dozin. If there's a lot of blue sitting down at the table, depending on how many islands there are, he's going to be an early pick for me to tutor up. A Loaming Shaman. As I've said before, our graveyards are, in most decks, just extensions of our hand. And Loaming Shaman can wreak havoc on that strategy. As I said before, Devotion is a thing. It's a real thing. Using Galissa Sunseeker for repeatable artifact destruction. I tried to cover all the bases that you would normally cover with spells, with creatures that did those abilities. I love to cash all my things with flash. Well, not all your things, because you've got some artifact creatures that don't. Paragon is your Anthem effect, and it gives trample, because, sometimes things need trample. They don't have trample. Brooding Sauron is what's mine is mine, and it stays mine. I love that it's permanents and not just creatures. I think Homeward Path is just creatures, isn't it? Brooding Sauron is the real deal. Forgotten Ancient's a solid multiplayer card, just in general. And Master of the Hunt, because we're going to sick dogs on somebody. Now, it doesn't really work that well with the untap mechanics, but, hey, it's what we got. 5-drops. We have Acidic Slime. Of course, that's the first 5-drop we go to. And then we have the Hydra, which is just going to get ridiculously big. Stuffy Doll, because this is what you want to block with as a surprise blocker. I mean, seriously. And Majestic Myriad. Obviously, we're going to be creature heavy. A lot of dudes. Going to be big. He peters all their abilities. Oh, by Peter, I mean, oh shoot, I can't think of his last name. Peter from Heroes. If he's around you, he can do your ability. This is Peter. Then we're looking at 6 mana. Got our Snow Crusher. There's a slight snow theme in here. I've got a few snow-covered forests, you know. I just like these guys because they're bigger than... Well, this one maybe not. It's not bigger than you think it would be, but it's a Steel Hellkite. Good removal, as well as Triskelion. Just like Triskelion. Remember those devotion cards? Yeah, Primal Crux. Has devotion before devotion. Actually, devotion, they come out with Chroma first, and for some reason it was not that widely accepted. I think probably because it was just poorly executed, or there wasn't that many cards, or I don't know. But they considered Chroma flop, so they reworked it and brought it back as devotion, and voila, it's a hit. Everybody loves it. Yay! It's whatever. Twin Grove, we got a lot of forest, man. Speaking of a lot of forest, double counters, pretty good. Multani is probably... he's so hard to deal with. Typically, Multani comes down and he encourages the board wipe. I mean, if your board wipe player's sitting there teetering, do I do it? Do I not do it? If Multani hits the board, they're doing it. It's just happening. He is too good to let live. And the more players, the better he is. Green Warden helps you out a coming and a going. 7 drops. We got Garrick's Horde because, you know, we're playing with a lot of dudes. And every time you play a dude off the top of your library, it's like drawing another card that didn't take up a draw step. A lot of dudes. Moss Bridge Troll can get redonkulous, and it might get trample from your Paragon. So that was the only drawback to this guy. Was like, oh man, it doesn't have trample. But I guess if it had trample, it would be ridiculous. Now, Thorny. Oh, we remember Thorny back from the Urza block. Had a lot of fun with this guy, and he's glaring like a sun gun. Anyway, I've always called this super trample. I know to my oldest son built a deck many years ago, and every time a creature with super trample comes out, he'll incorporate it. It's pretty good. I may have to borrow that from him and go through it. Then we have the oh no, you didn't just cast all those flyers or swing at me with all those angel tokens. You just pop out your Tornado Elemental and you go on down the road. Well, we got 7, so we're at 8. If you'll notice, we're getting kind of slim on the numbers because odds are you're not getting up this high with Yisan. They've killed him long before now, and you've recast him and reset his counters. It's just, I mean, you're not going to play him out there and keep him. It's just not happening. But you do need kind of a high end anyway for your deck, so Liege of the Tangle, all right, I guess. I mean, we are playing kind of land heavy. So, FYI, never ever make all of your lands creatures. Ever. Because, woo. Yeah, I realize these are 8/8s, but you know what? They ain't indestructible. So, and they steal 0 cost creatures. There's a million ways to kill them. Stonehoof Chieftain. Now, 8 mana, 8/8 trample indestructible guys already have my attention. But the ability that it grants to all your dudes, pretty sweet. Now, and the last card we've got is the Primeval Protector here. It's a probably, I guess depending on when you draw it, you're probably going to cast him for around 6 or 7 most of the time. I've never actually drawn this guy. And you have the Magical Christmas Land scenario of this is the top of your curve, and, you know, you're never going to get to 11. At least I never have. But that is... playing with those Cycling Deserts, like I said, every... Oh, and we got to have the Rogue's Passage because, you know, evidently I'm expecting that delivery any day now. Sorry, I didn't realize what that would do. Anyway, that's what I've got for today. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and we're going to cut.